everyone. If you're from Australia, which obviously I am, and I presume most of my watchers and viewers and subscriptions are from too, you would have seen on the news for the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, the political debate going on about illegal immigrants or boat people or asylum seekers or refugees or whatever you choose to call them. So I thought I would discuss that. Obviously, if you're not Australian, the discussion still applies regarding human rights and the issue of immigration and refugee status. So don't feel like you'll be missing out just because you're not Australian. So I will be discussing a parliamentary release that was released from the Department of Parliamentary Services in Australia and was last updated in July this year. It is called Asylum Seekers and Refugees. What are the facts? Now I'll just be running through the questions and answers on the sheet and giving my own 2 cents. I pretty much agree with everything on this document, but it's quite dry, so I thought I'd add a bit of fear bladness flavour to it. I'll put the link to the document in the description so you can read it for yourself. It's a PDF file type thing. Okay, the first question is, are asylum seekers illegal? Now, to me, the answer is no, because I don't think that seeking asylum should be nor is illegal. However, the document says that, generally speaking, illegal immigrants are people who enter a country without meeting the legal requirements. However, under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the right to seek asylum. So that contradicts itself really, because if you have a right to do something that's illegal, then shouldn't it be made legal? Now the next issue that gets people's blood boiling, and by people I mean ignorant, right-wing, selfish, just generally horrible people who call these refugees boat people, because apparently that's the only way you can categorise them, is people who choose, or don't even choose, have no choice but to come to Australia by boat. So the question is on the PDF, do most asylum seekers arrive by boat? Well, the media would have you think so, because every day there's a new headline saying new boat arriving, or new refugee boat intercepted off Christmas Island, new refugees trying to steal our land, and all that rubbish, which just irritates me so much. Because according to this document, and according to everyone who has ever bothered to Google the statistics, or even look a little bit further into this issue rather than watching crappy Fox type news current affairs, for you Americans out there who have no idea what our media is like, there are shows that are very much like Fox News, mostly a current affair and Today Tonight. Anyway, this document says that boat arrivals only make up a tiny proportion of asylum applicants. It is estimated that between 96 and 99% of asylum applicants arrive by air. So, when you think about it, the large majority of these illegal immigrants are people who have applied for visas and been able to fly to Australia, but then have outstayed their visas. And these are what you classify as illegal immigrants, or illegal refugees, I suppose, because they are here illegally because they have run out of time on their visa. These people could afford a plane trip here. These people had the luxury of being able to save or have enough money to buy both a plane ticket and food, or a plane ticket and health for their family. However, people who come here by boat risk their lives on leaky and really dangerous boats, obviously have no choice but to flee their country due to either war, poverty, famine, a variety of things, and people are persecuting them for trying to escape from a place where they don't feel safe or plainly are not safe and are probably going to be killed. It boggles my mind that people can't wrap their head around the fact that these boat people are real human beings with real feelings, real hopes, real dreams, real fears, yet we are slagging them off, persecuting them, degrading them, treating them like lower class citizens, putting them in detention centres, which are essentially jails, putting children in detention centres, separating them from their families. It's ridiculous. I've always thought that you should judge a country or a community or a society on how well they treat their people, and really Australia is deplorable. Another misguided worry is that these refugees are taking up all the refugee places in Australia. They're coming by the millions. They're going to take all our jobs. There are so many of them. Once again, if any of these fearmongers bothered to read the statistics or look a little bit into it, or just to stop creating fear and panic amongst the slower people of our community, they would see that over the last 10 years, only 13,000 refugees were granted visas or places under Australia's Humanitarian Act. Now, 13,000 people sounds like a lot, but when you put it in perspective of population, I think Australia has around 25 or 26 million people. Now, I can't do the maths that quickly, but I know that that is not a lot of people compared to the population. We can definitely fit more refugees. We have the money, the resources, the food, the drive. There are people out there that really want to help, but the government is stopping them from doing so. Now, many Australians, because we live in our own little island bubble, seem to believe that Australia is getting an unfair amount of boat people. They're just flocking here, not bothering to go to any other country because Australia is the best country in the world, and that we are getting an unfair amount of refugees. Once again, this is not the truth. Although Australia is amongst the 20 countries in the world that does take refugees, we are quite low on the scale of how many refugees we actually accept into our country. Greece, Italy, Spain and Yemen take a lot more than Australia, and considering their size and economic status at the moment, good on them, because apparently Australia can't support all these new people, even though we've got land size massive, we've got a great economy, we've got plenty of resources. But no, of course we can't have these illegal immigrants coming in and stealing all our jobs, jobs that we're too lazy to get in the first place. But yeah, I don't understand what all the panic is about. So there you go, there is my summary of the latest parliamentary release from the Australian government regarding refugees. Now, the release is fine, tells the truth, reduces panic regarding all these people invading our land. I think that is highly hypocritical of Australians to state that these immigrants are invading on our country. Reminds me of something we did to the Aboriginal people a couple of 100 years ago. But no, we won't talk about that, will we? No, that's just swept under the carpet. Anyway, as you can see, this really boils my blood, because I can't bear to see people who are wanting a new life, who have done nothing wrong, who are completely innocent in every way except wanting a better life for themselves and their family, treated like second-class citizens or animals, really. Locking them up, locking children up. Some have to wait for years until their visas are processed, which just isn't good enough. We have the resources, we have the people. Why not stop using this as a political agenda or even game between the current government and the opposition, and start helping real people? Because when it comes down to it, that's how a country is going to be judged. Not on your economic status, not on how tall your buildings are, but how you treat your human beings. So yeah, check out the document in the description. And please, please, if you're watching this from Australia, do not watch or believe anything a current affair or Today Tonight tells you about these illegal immigrants or boat people, or for that matter, what Tony Abbott says about them. Thanks for listening. You can hit me up in the comments if you have anything to say, or you can message me if you want to talk about this further. I'm also on Twitter. I'm at FearBlandness. Hope I've given you something to think about if you haven't already thought exactly the same, which I assume that you would, because I like to think that my YouTube viewers are very intelligent and switched on. So, thanks guys!